my favorite movie of all time, and I am making an exception. Obviously, my most favorite movie is The Passion. But
it's a little Catholic.
But it's so good that I can't even put it in this category. So obviously, The Passion is my number one because that's not a movie to me. That's a documentary of real life. That's real life, the way it was 60 years ago when Christ walked the earth. But what is my favorite film has got to be Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That's just
so
what,
good.
I felt like that's just what cinema is all about.
Oh, yeah. And he has got to be an amazing Christian, that Mr. Steven Spielberg. Just a good Christian man. Because when they get to that part, when Indiana Jones has to choose the chalice, the cup of Christ, in that cave, and he chooses correctly, and he drinks it and becomes immortal, and then they go, you chose wisely. I mean...
And then the bisexual Nazi, he did not choose wisely.
No.
And his face
blew off! Just until it was a skull, like a black, dirty skull.
But I thought it looked just like Mrs. McCain when she gets up on the bus in the morning, and it is just a formless void. It's fetal and yet ancient at the same time.
It's ageless.
It's just this like malleable form that they have to apply shunts and and
then they spackle her shunts. After they put the shunts, they spackle them, and then they do a nice Avon glaze, followed by a Clinique respackle, followed by a Lancome glaze, and then finally on top of it all,
someone paints her eyes in, and then they just put her. It's kind of like Sculpey. They just put her in the oven at a low heat.
Bakes.
And then it sets. And
it's a pity.
It's beautiful.
She's beautiful, and it's a pity you can't paint a soul on a person.
I guess you just can't program a soul.
No. That's unfortunate, because if you could, I would just reprogram all the gays and all the non-Christian. Well, you can with the gays. They just need to pray a little harder. Obviously, they can be reprogrammed. They just, you know what? I take any homosexual person in America, and when I get elected vice president, you send them on over to the vice president's mansion, and Mrs. Sarah Heath Palin will reprogram them good. Give them 5 days with me, and I can turn any gay person, homosexual person straight. That's what I do. Because, all I say is, hey, listen up. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. And I can do that. I can hammer that message home for 72 solid hours at least. Take a potty break. Do it again for another 72 hours. And at the end of it, the person's straight.
Well, and then there's the final death round if that doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.